how can an executive provide feedback that's actually valuable?
How can an executive provide feedback that's valuable? I think that the biggest thing that I coach people on, just kind of ad hoc, not necessarily even through our program, is consistency. I think that the words are important, but I think that the cadence is almost more important. And I think the timeliness of the feedback is the most important. So, to me, the way I receive valuable feedback and provide it is very quickly after something has happened. I think positive reinforcement is great. And I think that that helps people grow and feel proud of their work. But when I think about feedback, I'm thinking about the things that are actually pushing the person to the next level of their growth and the next level of our relationship being more impactful. And so I think if there's a mistake that was made or something that wasn't done exactly how you wanted it to be done, giving the feedback, I mean, within 24 hours max is most important, and being very specific in the feedback, not, you made a mistake yesterday. I wish you would have done something faster. Like that kind of thing. The time associated with how things are done is often totally misunderstood by both parties. What I consider fast and what my assistant considers fast probably couldn't be more different. So I need to be very specific in my feedback. Hey, I wish that you had reached out to so and so much quicker. And what I mean by quicker is if I've asked you to reach out to somebody, I want it done in a 12-hour period. And so just providing very quick feedback in the moment with very specific, detailed information, and then allowing them to kind of repeat back what they've heard. How did this feedback resonate for you? What did you hear me say? To make sure that as you're leaving that dynamic and conversation, everybody's aligned. But it does not have to be a long conversation. It could be 5 minutes. It doesn't need to be 30 minutes or an hour, or wait till their, monthly review or anything.
I completely agree. I think that having them repeat it back is so important for lots of different reasons. I think that so often because assistants are caretakers, they can take that feedback and have it be a little bit harsher than your intention. And so having them repeat it back so that they are not maybe holding on to negatives about themselves as a person, but actually gleaning what they need to glean from the feedback is really, really important. And then the other thought I had, it reminded me of a conversation we had with a client whose assistant is at the 6 month mark. We had with her last week, and her one thing we talked about a lot was that she really likes the assistant. The skills aren't quite where she needs them to be at yet or expected them to be at yet. And we had that same conversation. You need to give very specific feedback. You need to say exactly what your expectations are, not what think is reasonable for her. Like actually say, this is what I want.
Right.
And then, and then have her repeat it back, like you mentioned, but also kind of filter it through. Like one thing we talked about was filter through how she's going to do it. How is she going to accomplish it? I'm not going to say like, here's all the steps you need to do to accomplish this. I want her to say, I'm going to say, here's my problem. And she's going to come back and say, here's how I'm going to fix it. Because if
Yeah.
we're giving her the solution, she's not always going to be likely to hold on to that solution and make it her own. And so I think that is a really important part of giving that feedback. I think also regularity. I agree. Consistency. Like you just
Yes.
got to do it all the time so that
Yes. Even if
nobody's
it's
afraid of it.
no, yes, taking the fear out of it. And actually, something that you taught me at some point along our journey was checking in before you provide the feedback. Do you want to get better? Like, is this, I mean, if you're going to have, I think if it's not this 5 minute quick feedback, but it's like something massive has happened or it's super, I'm sorry, my shark is, I tried to set it to the dock and it's at the dock now and it's cleaning itself because it went for 2 seconds. So 1 second.
Well, mine is setting at the door. I had turned it off because I could hear it going against the door.
I appreciate it so much, but sometimes I'm like, know your timing,
And
But
also, it's so hard to know when the right time is for it to be scheduled for.
right, I have it scheduled at varying times all week long. It never seems right. So, but I think that if you're going to give like kind of more critical, longer feedback, checking in to say, like, do you want to grow this? I'm only providing you feedback to help you grow as an individual. And honestly, it's not reflective of you as a person at all. It's literally just about the work. It doesn't mean you're a bad person or not good enough or any of those things that especially caretakers internalize. It's literally just, do you want to get better? This is a way you can get better.
Yeah, absolutely. I love talking about feedback.